Today we are looking at the Voyager Linux 23.10 Mantic Minotaur. So here is the boot menu. So let's quickly boot it in a live boot. So I'm running it on a virtualization which is a VMware with 60 GB of hard disk, 4 GB of RAM, and my CPU is i5 1240p. So here is the welcome screen of the Voyager Linux 23.10. It took a lot of time to load up till this thing. So in my PC it took like 4 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes. So it should be taking less or more in your PC. So here you have the old style language selection and live boot or directly install it on a hard disk. So in my opinion, it's a stable ISO file. Even it's a stable ISO file, it's always a good option. Go with the live boot first, and after you're satisfied with anything, like you don't face any bugs, issues, or all the crashes or anything like that, you can go with the installer later. So the installation application is also available in the live desktop layout. You can directly install it from there. So it's always a good option go with the live boot, because it may ruin, sometimes it may ruin your PC. So I don't want that to happen. So that's the reason I always mention to go with the live boot if you have a live boot. So I'm choosing the try Voyager now. It should take a few seconds and it should be having our desktop layout completely loaded. So here is the desktop layout completely loaded. So it is taking a few seconds to completely load. So let's wait for a few more seconds. So I think we have everything loaded, I guess. So let's first go with the system monitor and then later change the display settings. So we can see how much of resources it uses in the beginning or when we load up the system. So these are all the system resources. It's almost a 1.9 GB in the beginning of the video. I didn't touch any application or anything like that. As you can see, it's almost 1.9 GB. That's a pretty lot. So it's clearly up to you to choose this Linux distro or not. If you have like a 2 GB of RAM in your PC or a low-end PC, it's going to be a bit of lag in here, or it may take a lot of time to open everything. So it's clearly up to you to choose this Linux distro or not. So it should be having the GNOME desktop environment. So it's almost a 1.9 GB. I think that's a pretty much heavy desktop environment in my opinion. So let's check the process running right now. So these are all the process running right now. So resources, this is all the resources. I think they gave like a system requirements to run this Linux distro. Let's go to the official website and check all that information. So I don't think this is for a low-end PC. So it's almost 2 GB of RAM. So system monitor version is 45.0.2. So if you have 2 GB of RAM, you should be having like a numbers 1.8 GB, and it's almost a 2.0 GB. It's a 200 extra of a 2 GB of RAM. So let's put the system monitor at right side corner. Throughout the video you can see all the changes in the CPU and RAM. So let's first change the display settings. It looks pretty odd right now. So we need to wait for a few more seconds. I have like a 4 GB of RAM. It's still a bit of a delay in this PC, and I'm running it on a VMware, so it's pretty common. Let's wait and change these things. About, I don't know how it performs while on the hard disk, but it's on RAM now, so it's almost 2.1 GB. So the operating system name is like a Voyager 23.10 because it's based on Ubuntu 23.10 Mantic Minotaur. So here is the complete information. GNOME not available right now, but it should be available in few seconds, or I will show you in the terminal. So the kernel version you get is a 6.5.0-9, which is same as the Ubuntu and Ubuntu flavors. So these are all the information. So let's go to their official website and check all the new features and release notes. So we get the web browser. Default web browser is a Firefox web browser, and I think the version should be like a 118.0.1, as same as the Ubuntu and Ubuntu flavors. So you get like a small system monitor here, as you can see, the RAM and the CPU, power, Linux kernel, and the name of the Ubuntu you get here, Ubuntu 23.10. So let's check the version of the, let me put this aside so you can see properly. So let's check the version of the Firefox first, and you get the 118.0.2 version. So let's type in about support to get some of the information. Hit enter. So here is the information, and I think there is a bit of lag, I guess, maybe frozen, I think. And here you have, it took a few seconds. I think there was a major lag there, like a 2-3 seconds maybe. I think it's a minor lag, so no problem. So if you want to read everything, you can just pause the video and read everything, or you can just change the playback speed to read everything. You can change the playback speed in the YouTube settings. The default numbers will be like a 1.0. Change it to 0.25 and you should be seeing all the information here. Or you can just pause the video and read everything. So this is some of the important information. If you don't find this information as important, just skip this part and go check the other part. So let's go to the official website. So I'm using other search engine because my Google search engine will trigger the reCAPTCHA because of my VPN. So that's the reason I'm choosing the other search engine. You can go with your Google search engine or DuckDuckGo search engine, whatever you have in your web browser. So we need to type like a Voyager and Live Linux as the search term. Keep an eye on the RAM and CPU. As you can see, RAM is almost like a 2.5 GB and cache is 2.1 GB. So this is the website, official website, which is a voyagerlive.org. So you can directly type this in the search bar, which will directly take you to their official website. So let's translate. So here is the version directly on top of the home page. So fast, fluid, user-friendly for internet, office, media player, media, multimedia, or gaming. So the end of life of 23.10 is 9 months, which is July 2024. So it's clearly up to you to choose this version or go with the older versions which has LTS. So it's a 9 months, so be careful while using this or installing this Linux distro. Keep that in mind. It's just a 9 months. It's almost a completion of a few months here. So it's almost the end of October. So if you want to go with the LTS, go with the LTS version, or you can choose this version. It's clearly up to you. You can download directly from here. Upgrade script is here, so you can upgrade from 23.04. So you get the GNOME 45 desktop environment and Xfce 4.18 based on Ubuntu 23.10, and the kernel version you get is a 6.5, which is already mentioned. So let's go with the Voyager 23.10. So these are all the changes, all the information. If you want, you can read everything. It will translate in a few seconds. So here is the translation of everything. It was French, so it's going to translate everything. You can just change it from here. So GNOME, and this is the Xfce. So I think it's a good option to go with the Xfce because it consumes a bit of less, but nowadays it's also consuming a bit more there. So I think it's still better than the GNOME desktop environments. It's clearly up to you. It's my opinion. So it's clearly up to you. If you want to go with the GNOME, you can go with GNOME, and if you want to go with the Xfce, it's clearly up to you. So here are all the information. These are all the applications which you get with these all these distros 23.10. Here is the recommended system equipments or system requirements. Recommended configuration: 2 gigahertz dual core processor or better, 4 GB of RAM. So base to run this Linux distro, you need 4 GB of RAM, 25 GB of free hard disk, internet access, or maybe not. It's clearly up to you. Either a DVD USB drive or DVD and or a USB drive. So 64-bit, ideal for computers with a more than 3 GB of RAM. So you can read this, or you can just pause the video and read it here, or you can just go to their official website to get all the information. So here are all the information if you want go with all these things. So they have how to install it, how to use it, all these things. So you already know how to use all the Linux distros, so I don't think you need all these things, but it's a good option. Go with this information. It's a good option before doing anything. So there is a lot of big list here how to do everything, so it's going to take a lot of time to show all these things, so I'm just going to skip this part. You can go to their official website and read everything. So let's try to download the Voyager Linux. It will take you directly to the source forge. So let's try to remove this part and see. Let's go to the official website. Let's click on files. So it will take to the SourceForge files. So these are all the available downloads. You get all the versions from 23.10 to older version 20.04.2 LTS. So you have the normal and the Debian is the from July, I guess, and these are all from the October release. So let's click on it. So it will directly download the ISO file. You need to wait for a few seconds and the download will be started in any second. So it's already started. The file size is around like a 4.4 GB. So it's clearly up to you to choose whatever desktop environment you want, and if you want to install it on your hard disk or not, it's clearly up to you. It's almost like a 3.1 GB just for the web browser. We open just a web browser and a system monitor. It's almost like a 3.1 GB. So it's clearly up to you to choose this Linux distro or not. If you're choosing, I will recommend go with the LTS version because it's 9 months. You don't want to do all the things again, so it's a good option. Go with the LTS version. But if you want to go with this thing, it's clearly up to you. You can go with it. Let's open the terminal and get some of the distro information. So the CPU is also going up. So let's make it bigger so you can see properly. So let's check the version of the terminal. Here you have the version of 3.49.92 for GNOME 45. So let's type in INXI and hit enter. And I'm using a 4 GB of RAM. It is taking a bit of time, not a major time difference. It's a second or 2 seconds of delay. So it should be good while you install it on your hard disk, but I'm running it on a RAM. That's the reason it's taking a bit of time and a bit of slugginess. So I think you should be having a good RAM and CPU for running this Linux distro in my opinion. So it should be different for you. So the INXI version is 3.29. So let me change the color so you can see properly. So let's try to change the color of the terminal. Let's change the GNOME light. Now you can see properly. So I'm using a 60 GB of hard disk, and this is the kernel version, which is 6.5. So this is my CPU, which is i5 1240p. So this is the RAM. So let's type in another command, which is inxi-small b. So under system, it says a host as a Voyager Linux. So this is a kernel, and this is a 64-bit, and this is the desktop environment, which is 45.0. Distro, it says has a Ubuntu 23.10 Mantic Minotaur because it's based on a Mantic Minotaur. Under machine, it says as a VMware because I'm running it on a VMware. Here is the CPU information. Here is the graphics information, which is display is X11, server Xorg version 1.21.1.7. Xvaliant version is 23.2.0. Display resolution, I think something is wrong with the mouse cursor. So display resolution is 1920 into 1080 with a 60 Hz. OpenGL version is 4.3. Mesa is 23.2.1. So this is my network information. If you want to network information, here is the network information. INXI version is here. So let's type in another command, which is INXI dash capital G. Hit enter. You get some of the information here. So let's type in cat:/etc/issue. Hit enter. It says as a Ubuntu 23.10. So let's type in neofetch. Here is the neofetch. Let's type in another command, which is inxi-sv8. So this is the command which will grab complete distro information. So let's go top and read everything. So this is my system information. Complete system information is here. You can just pause the video and read everything. This is complete memory machine information. This is the memory information. This is my CPU information. Here are all the vulnerabilities. Graphics, display, monitor, all the information is here. This is my audio information. Pipewire version is 0.3.79. ELSA version is K6 5.0-9. So this is my network information. Here is the Bluetooth information. If you have a Bluetooth, you should be getting the Bluetooth information. So these are all the drives, partitions, WAP, USB, all the information is here. These are the sensor information, repos information. These are all the process running or the process information. So the bash version is 5.2.15 and process running right now are through 312. Uptime is 20 minutes. Wake ups 249. Init systemd version 253. So we got complete information. So let's type in hestop and close the terminal. So its hestop is not pre-installed. So let's type or copy the command and paste it here to get the hestop information. So it takes like a 20 to maybe 10 to 12 seconds to install the hestop. So usually that's the time it will take, but let's see how much of time it takes in this Linux distro. So it is taking a lot of time in this Linux distro. Usually in my PC, every Linux distro will take like a maximum, it will be like a 12 seconds, but it is taking a lot of time to install the hestop. So let me minimize this thing. It's going to take a lot of time, so I don't want to waste that much of time for that. So as you can see, there is no stable graph in the CPU. The RAM is almost 2.3 GB. So the process are all these things, as you can see. So let's put it aside. Let's open the installer. I'm not going to install this on my hard disk because I want to make another video. So that's the reason I'm going to just show you the process of installation or changes in the installation. So if you are already a pro user or a normal Linux user, you know how to install this Linux distro. You can just skip this part if you want. And as you can see, there is a delay in the application opening the application. So even if you have like a good RAM, good CPU, you need to I think the in when you run it on a hard disk, it will be a good Linux distro, I guess. But on live boot, it is taking a lot of time, and as you can see, there is a bit of delay, freeze, and everything is going crazy in this few seconds. So the Hestop is installed. So let me minimize the installer and let's go back to the Hestop. And mouse cursors are working crazy. They're going crazy. So as you can see. So this is the Hestop for some of the viewers who want to see the Hestop. So let's close this thing and get back to the installation. So again, you get the old installer. You don't get the new installer as the Ubuntu has. All the Ubuntu flavors doesn't have even the new installer. So first you need to choose your language here and then click on continue. Let's wait for a few seconds here, and here you have the keyboard layout. You can test it here, detect your keyboard layout, or you can choose the language directly if you have here. I'm choosing the English United States, both the side. The variant is English United States. There is like a Macintosh, Russian, Hawaiian. You can go with anything. So updates and other softwares, you can go with the normal installation or you can go with the minimal installation. In normal installation, you get a web browser, utilities, office software, games, and media player. And in minimal installation, you get just a web browser and basic utilities. Basic utilities are like a mouse pad or whatever you call the text editor, and like a calculator, like that small apps which is available in the minimal installation. So the other installation is like a download updates while installing Voyager, and the third party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware and additional media formats. So it's always a good option to check both these things because it will be helpful. So if you already a Linux user, you don't know, you don't need to do that because you already know how to do that later. So it's clearly up to you. Click on continue after you're satisfied, and it's going to take like 30 to 40 seconds. In my PC, it says as a preparing Ubuntu drivers, it's going to take like a 30 to 40 seconds. It will be different in your PC, but it takes usually like a 30 to 40 seconds in my PC. So I'm going to choose other things to do. So let's check out the desktop features. So this is the date and time. This is the language selection. Here are the power options, network options, and auto rotate, caffeine, dark style, power mode. All the options are available here. Volume. So settings center, caffeine, and a screenshot settings. All the things are available here. Show manager. Here is like a clipboard, I guess. Yes, it is. It's a clipboard. You can choose private mode or a public mode, like that. Settings of these things. So here is the new activity option or the icon. So these are all the applications available. So after the installation, I'm going to show that too. So here is the erase disk and install Voyager or something else. This option will delete the current operating system or the media files which you choose, the hard disk or a virtual disk. It's going to erase everything in that thing. So it's going to delete as a single delete and install it as a single operating system. The something else is an option which you get the dual boot options, or the you get an option like a you will be getting Voyager Linux along with the other operating system or the current operating system you have. You need to create a partition for that. You should be having an option like a dual operating system. For example, if you are running a Windows 11, you should be getting another operating system which is a Voyager Linux. So if you are running other Linux, you should be getting this thing. So let's go with advanced features. You get the erase disk and use ZFS as a new option, I guess. So these are all the options, and after clicking on install now, it's going to take like 5 to 10 minutes maximum, and it should be installed on your hard disk, virtual disk, whatever you choose for the installation path. So let me quit it because I don't want to install it. I want to make another video for the sake of the video. I'm not doing that. So let's go with these things and let's check out what are the pre-installed apps you get on this Voyager Linux 23.10. Under the accessories, you get all these applications. Another accessories, for some reason, games. You get a Pac-Man games. A lot of 90s people, 90s kids know this game, or the previous generation know this game. But I don't think this 2000 kids know this game. I guess maybe or may not. I don't know. Do let me know in the comment section if you know. And we have the Mines game. This game was also I like a Minesweeper. I guess it should be different. I don't know. So let's go with the graphics. I was too excited when I saw games. Sorry for that. So under the graphics, you get all these applications. Internet, you got like a plenty of like a 2 or 3 browsers, and here is a Thunderbird mail, and here is a torrent client. Under the office, you get the LibreOffice as usual. You get the agenda for light. Under the sound and video, you get a COF plugin pack for Jack. I don't know what it is. So some of the other applications, which is Rhythmbox, is commonly known. Music, videos, and SMTube. System tools, you get a plenty of applications here, as you can see. Software, all the things, and the utilities. You have plenty of utilities too. Tweaks, all those things. So these are all the available applications or pre-installed applications which comes with this Linux distro. So here are all the applications. I'm just going to open like a 10 to 12 apps and see whether it crashes or not, because I usually test like that. I'll open like a bunch of apps and see whether it crashes or we get any errors or any lag or anything in that. So it will be helpful for some of the users, so that's the reason I do that. So let me open and do that all the things. Let me open Firefox, file manager, like calendar, software. Let's even open some of random apps like a Thunderbird mail. Let's open videos. I don't think this Linux distro will handle with a 4 GB of RAM, I guess. So let's try it. Let's give it a try and see. Let's open the gparted. I hope it works properly so that other viewers can enjoy this Linux distro if everything is going good. I'm going to give my opinion after all these applications are open. Let's see. Let's open the rhythm box. Let's open the music. Let's open from here with the application menu. Under utilities, let's try to open some of the apps here. We don't have anything here, so let's go with the system tools. What we have here is we already opened the software, so let's open Synaptic Package Manager. Authenticate. So we don't have any password needed here, so it will authenticate directly there. Under sounds and video, we already opened the rhythm box, so no need. Let's open the LibreOffice calculator. Let's open internet. We have already opened the some of the browser, I guess. Firefox is already opened, so no need to open another. Let's open the GIMP. So let's open like a Shortwell also. I don't want to open any games. Let's see accessories. Let's open extension manager, and we already opened the maps, so I think we are good with these things. So let's go to the system monitor and see how much of resources it consumes. So it is taking a lot of time because there are applications still to be opened, so it's pretty common, so we don't need to worry about that. So after opening all the apps, let's see the CPU and RAM. So it's pretty much almost like a 3.5 GB of a 4.1 GB. It says as a 4.1 GB, but I choose the 4 GB of RAM. and it's almost like a 3.5 GB, and cache is like a 1.3 GB. So the CPUs also are going crazy. RAM is also touching to 3.5 GB. So let's try to see this thing. So I think pretty much opened everything, I guess. So I don't think we have anything left to open, I guess. So let's wait few more seconds. I think everything is opened, I guess. So we have like a file manager, calendar. I hope everything is opened. And there is a bit of delay. Maybe some of the apps should be opened, I guess. So I think the LibreOffice didn't open. So let's wait and see. So maybe we, after closing these things, that should open, I guess. I really don't know. So let's wait for a few more seconds and see. So as you can see, there is a lot of delay in this system monitor. So these are all the process running right now. I don't find any LibreOffice here, and we have a freeze here. I hope it works different on the hard disk when you install it on a hard disk. But if it works same as this thing with a 4 GB of RAM, that will be a bit of problem for a even a midweight Linux distro. So let's go to the resources now. So I pretty much opened like 12 to 13 apps or maybe more. So I don't remember how much of apps I opened, but right now it is taking a lot of time. As you can see, Rhythmbox is trying to open slowly. It's almost 3.6 GB. So there are still apps opening. So let's wait for a few more seconds. I hope it's and the texts are loading slowly. Let's see. Let's try to switch applications so that we can see everything is going good. And the dock under the screen is hidden, I guess. I can't switch to other apps, maybe just because of something is opening in the background. So let's wait for a few more seconds again. So if you are opening like a 10 to 12 apps, I think you should be getting like this error, like music is not responding, because it's almost a 3.7 GB. So we need to open still the LibreOffice. There is no LibreOffice here. So the LibreOffice is waiting for something to be closed, I guess. So it's almost like a 15 apps. It's clearly up to you. I'm not going to say whether to use this Linux distro or not, because I'm running it as a live boot, and when I open like this many of apps, everything should be working properly. But this Linux distro is already at 1.9 GB in the beginning of the video. I can't complain because it's a heavy resource consuming Linux distro, I guess. But I think like a XFCE variant will be a good option, I guess. I don't know properly. We need to test that the desktop environment too, so we can see the changes. So if you want to see that XFCE variant, you can let me know in the comment section. I will make that video too. So the GNOME variant is like a bit of off for me. I don't think I'll recommend this Linux distro for a low-end PC, but if you still want to try it, it's clearly up to you. I don't have any problem. But try to boot it in a live boot, and if you want to test it, you can test it on try to test it on like a not on the main PC or a work PC. Try it on like a other PC which you usually don't use it, which has like a 4 GB of RAM, because the basic system requirements, you need like a 4 GB of RAM for this Linux distro. So let's try to close it. I don't think I can close this application because there is a major lag. So extension manager, there are a lot of apps still to be opened, so that's the reason I can't do anything here. So let's try to force this Linux distro and close all the applications. So I think I made a mistake like opening like a more than like a 10 apps. So I clearly opened like a 12, more than like a, I guess 18 to 15 apps, I don't know, because I didn't count it. So I think when you run like a 10 apps, it will be a good option. But when you run more than that apps, usually none of the viewers or me will open that many apps at once. So I think that's a good option to choose this Linux distro, even if you have 4 GB of RAM. But you are like if you open like a bunch of apps, like a 15 apps, it will be a bit of problem for you. So if you have if you open like a less apps, like a few apps, like under 10 apps, you should be good with this Linux distro. So here is the version. Let's close it. When we close this application, I think some application will be open, because there are some applications to be opened. So it is taking a lot of time. It's almost like a 3.8 GB. I don't think it will work properly now. Let's wait for a few seconds, and if nothing is working, so let me end the video then. So the all the version you get is 45.0 of the applications, because the desktop environment itself is a 45 GNOME desktop environment, and the file manager, all the applications will be 45. And the Thunderbird, you have like a supernova icon here, so you should be getting 115.3 115.0.3. You should be getting that option. And the G parted will be, I think, 1.5 version, I guess. There is GIMP also waiting for the applications to be closed. So there is like this option. So let's try to check this. So at this time there is nothing working properly, so I think it's a good option to end the video here. So it's not going to work properly even if you wait for hours, because it's almost like a 3.9 GB. It will take ages to open. If I had opened like a 10 apps, it would be working properly, but I made a mistake and opened like more than 15 apps, I guess. So that's the reason it is going to take a lot of time. So in the beginning of the video, it's almost 2 GB of RAM, so we get like just a few apps. So I think that's the way to end this video, I guess. So let's try to see the system. Can't even do that too. So the CPUs are at high graph, and the RAM is almost just 100 MB or maybe 50 MB is free. So I think it's clearly up to you to use this Linux distro or not. Only if you open like a less than 10 apps, it should be working good in a 4 GB of RAM. So if you have like a less than 4 GB of RAM, it's a bit of this will be happening in your Linux, in your PC also, I guess. So if you want to still test it on your normal PC. If you want to install it, you can install it on normal PC. Don't put it on a main PC or work PC, because it's good to test it in like a normal PC or a PC you don't usually use. So I think that's the end of the video, I guess. So nothing is working now, so it is frozen completely. So I'll end this video. Again, I already posted another video of another content, so if you want to check that out, it's already available in my YouTube channel. So I think I'll be posting 2 videos daily. So that's the reason this is the one video and that was the another video. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out after watching this video. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. It helps make a good content for you. Other than that, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace out.